My name is Ukki Kai. I got the idea a while ago that I write letters to myself. Not who I am now, but who I was about 10 years ago. And this is my second letter. Dear Kai, I want to tell you honestly what happened when I retired. Even if some of it feels a little embarrassing to admit. One morning I woke up and I was officially retired. For the first time in my life, society was now paying my salary. Until then, I had always taken care of it myself, my entire life. I have never really worked for anyone else, well, except once, as a teenager, one summer as a moped courier at the car dealership. It felt strange to realize that I could lie on the couch for a whole month and still get paid. And yet, the whole time I felt I should be doing something useful. Not doing anything felt wrong. I carried this constant guilt with me day after day. I kept thinking I should earn my salary somehow, even though in reality I didn't have to earn anything anymore. I'm telling you this next story because it matters. It shows how one thing slowly led to another. And through it I eventually found meaning again. Not immediately, but once I started, it rolled forward like a snowball. I walked around the house trying to figure out what to do. I had bought a small, old, over 50 years old sailing boat to restore during my retirement years. It was in terrible condition. I stood there looking at it, thinking about everything that needed to be done. And somehow, every time I ended up in front of the TV instead. I'll start later, I told to myself. That went for days and weeks. Then I had an idea, new idea. The dock needed to be extended. As you know, we live right by the lake. I got excited. I hooked up the trailer and drove to the city to buy materials. When I came back, the trailer was full of planks and boards. I unloaded everything by the shore and noticed it was already evening, and I decided to continue next morning. But when morning came, I tried to get up from the bed, and sharp pain shot through my back, and I fell back to the bed. I thought, damn it, the old problem was back. I have felt something in my back the day before while I was carrying the boards, but I convinced myself everything would be fine in the morning. It wasn't. I couldn't get out of the bed. Later that morning I managed to get up, barely dragged myself to the couch, turned on TV, poured myself a glass of wine, and took some strong painkillers. What else I could do? Next morning, I wasn't much better. The same routine continued. It probably took a week and a few bottles of wine before my back allowed me to move again. I went back to the dock and continued my work. I managed to move the project forward for a few days, slowly, carefully. And then my back gave up again. Another week on the couch. I told myself there wasn't no rush, and I admit this with the shame. I even started waiting for my back to fail, so I could return to the couch to wine and TV series. Inside, all of this made me restless and irritated. I kept thinking, shouldn't I be happy now? Shouldn't I be enjoying this freedom? That thought only made things worse. I drank wine bottle by bottle in the middle of the day. Frustration was the only thing I could get out of it. When I was in working life, days had a clear rhythm. You wake up, you have breakfast, you go to work. There was always a plan, a direction. Now, morning started whenever I happened to wake up. It was often already midday before anything happened. There was no plan, no rhythm. Only the guilt for doing nothing. And shame knowing that most days I wasn't even fit to drive to the grocery store. Little by little, depression began to creep in. I started wondering if this is all there is. Where was that then I will life I had been waiting for? I had time, but I had no plan, no direction. That's when I realized something important. No one from outside was going to come and make a plan for me. No one was going to tell me how to use all this freedom and time. If I didn't wake up and understand this myself, that whole then I will life would simply slip through my hands. I still think it's easy for you to understand this now while you're still deeply inside the working life with tightly scheduled days and constant deadlines. When you're busy, only thing you think about is the next task, and usually you're already late. I hope this letter made you pause for a moment and think. Sincerely, from the shores of Lake Saimaa, Ukkikai.